While some retro gamers might be excited about this, Konami is set to revive Metal Gear, Castlevania, and Silent Hill. There's been rumors for a while about Silent Hill getting released. People have talked about Metal Gear possibly getting a new entry, and there's been people that have wanted Castlevania again. So this is huge news for those people. I personally have not played any of these because I'm younger. I didn't get into it until 2010, 2011 into gaming, and that was mostly sports and Nintendo stuff. And then I didn't start expanding that until 2017, maybe 2018. So I'm relatively new to this stuff, but keep hearing about these series and be interesting. I'm not a horror guy, so I probably wouldn't play Silent Hill, but Metal Gear and Castlevania possibly. But this is some big news possibly if this is true. So let's get into this. This is from Video Game Chronicles and by Andy Robinson. It says Japanese publisher will reveal major projects after a period of relative quiet. Konami is set to ramp up its premium game development with new installments and remakes for its biggest franchises, including Metal Gear and Castlevania. That's according to publishing sources who spoke to VGC anonymously because they did not have permission to discuss their projects publicly. No shit. Konami's premium games output has slowed down significantly in recent years. Yeah. Don't they do like gambling machines and stuff like that now? Almost exclusively. I know they release a game here and there, but mostly isn't that just what they're doing now? But regardless, Konami's premium games output has slowed down significantly in recent years. The last new Metal Gear game was 2018's critically planned Metal Gear Survive, while the last mainline Castlevania release was 2014's Lord of Shadow 2. In the past decade, the company has arguably grown a bigger reputation for its pachinko gambling games, than for its premium PC and console releases. However, following a restructure to the company's game development divisions earlier this year, Konami is now focused on bringing back its biggest brands to the premium game space, VGC was told. The first of these titles will be a new Castlevania game, which sources described as a reimagining, quote. I hate that word. Reimagining these days means changes to modernize, quote, that's another word, modernize these games and censor stuff. Take stuff out of it that would be too risky today. And it just kind of screws with the game a bit. In some cases, a lot. So you gotta be careful every time they say that word. I don't know anything about Castlevania, so I don't know if there's a lot of that in there. But they say the first of these titles will be Castlevania game, which sources described as reimagining of the series, currently in development internally at Konami in Japan, with support from local external studios. There's been much speculation that Demon Souls studio Bluepoint could be working on a remake of Metal Gear Solid. However, VGC was told the series is actually being worked on by an external studio, Virtuos. I think that's Virtuos. That's how you pronounce it, I think. Established in 2004, Virtuos is one of the largest game developers in the world and focuses on supporting the development of major AAA games or bringing existing games to new platforms. Recently, it worked on the Switch ports of Dark Souls Remastered, The Outer Worlds, and the BioShock collection, as well as contributing art and content to blockbusters such as Battlefield 1, Uncharted 4, and Horizon Zero Dawn. The new project is currently in early development. Multiple sources suggested it would be centered around fan-favorite entry Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, rather than the original Metal Gear Solid. Konami also intends to release remasters of the original Metal Gear Solid games for modern consoles ahead of the larger project, we understand. Finally, multiple Silent Hill games are currently in development at various external development studios as per an earlier VGC report from February. One of these projects was outsourced to a prominent Japanese developer earlier this year, we were told. Now, that's been talked about for a while, but we've heard nothing about it. Konami should publicly showcase its plans at major shows next year. Disruption from the pandemic permitting, Konami pulled out of this year's E3 2021 show due to, quote, timing issues, although at the time it confirmed it had, quote, a number of key projects in the works. Konami's Japanese bosses are understood to have historically pushed back against most pitches to outsource its key game brands, which is a big reason why previous pitches for Silent Hill games, such as one by Until Dawn Studio Supermassive, weren't greenlit. However, following the disappointing performance of recent in-house titles, Metal Gear Survive and Contra Rogue Corps, VGC sources said the company has become more willing to contract outside studios for its major franchises. VGC first reported Konami's softening of its stance over licensing its game properties earlier this year, in a report revealing that the company has outsourced a new Silent Hill game. Last year, Konami ramped up its game efforts with the creation of a new external publishing program, with which it hoped to sign more Western-developed titles. So if this is true, this will be big for a lot of people, a lot of retro gamers, and it would bring it to a new audience as well. Hopefully they don't screw with it too much. Even though I haven't played these, I hate when companies do that. They screw with it to, quote, modernize it, or just screw with it in general and mess it up. It's what's happening in the film industry right now. They're just remaking everything and screwing it up because mostly because of inserting politics or pushing an agenda, whatever. A lot of them are like female remakes of male properties, essentially. But prime example, Ghostbusters 2016. That's like one of the first ones. But I hope they're not gonna do anything like that. I doubt they do like female remakes of Metal Gear Solid. But I'm just saying, in general, I hope they don't change things for the sake of modernizing it, or just censor stuff. All I ask is that you don't screw it up, Konami. Don't mess with things that don't need messing with. That's what most of these studios are doing these days in entertainment. Like gaming, for example, it's not the biggest deal, but Mass Effect Legendary Edition, they changed shots that were centered on Miranda's butt. Like, there is actually reason to that, apparently, in the game. I played the first one, I haven't played the others, but hearing from people who have, that she's supposed to be the perfect woman, that's like a thing in the game, like a story thing in the game. There's a reason that they're actually doing it, but I guess the people that are working on it didn't know that or realize it, which is kind of concerning. You should know what you're dealing with. If you're working on Mass Effect, you should know Mass Effect. But stuff like that, and then there's rumors about the GTA Remastered Trilogy, whatever it's going to be called, being modernized or being made for modern audiences. I don't remember exactly the wording. So they might screw with some stuff in there. It's stuff like that I'm concerned about. I'm not too concerned about it with this. Konami's, if I'm correct, a Japanese company. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know all that much about Konami, but I'm pretty sure they're a Japanese company, so I'm not too worried about that with this. But interesting to see how it would sell to a newer audience. I know Metal Gear Solid 5 isn't that old, so it's not gonna really be all that new to most people, probably. But the others especially would be interesting. Most recent one out of the other two is 2014 with Castlevania, I believe, so, like they said in the article. So when these get announced, it'll be interesting to see the reactions and see exactly what they're doing. What do you think about these new projects Konami has? You excited? You cautious? You scared? You not want them to do it? You just want them to leave it? Maybe you want a new entry instead of remasters and remakes? Let me know. Like if you like to subscribe, want to see more, comment, share. Another channel called The Thoughtful Outlaw Sports where I talk about basketball, baseball, football, anything else sports related I'm interested in, so check that out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.